All right, welcome back to What's Up Wednesday. Hey, today we're going to talk about how to stay warm when it's really cold outside and you're having to conserve power and propane and all that good stuff. So, I'll start off by saying if you're plugged in at a campground, that's just fine. You can run whatever you want to run electric wise. But what if you're not plugged up? What if you're off grid or you're traveling like we just got back from Arkansas and we stopped and spent 2 nights in the Cracker Barrel parking lot. We like staying at Cracker Barrels because number one, they're free. Well, maybe not free because we always go in and eat, and then Kathy ends up shopping. But anyway, we would eat anyway, so we're not paying for a campground, and we're just doing the overnight. So we like to stay in the Cracker Barrels. So anyway, if you're off gridding, it's what we call it, boondocking. So say you are at the Cracker Barrel and all you have is a house battery. Well, your house battery, depending on what size you have, will dictate how long you can run because you can only run a lead acid if that's what you're running for a house battery, and that's what typically RVs come with. You're only going to get to use 50% of it. So if you know what your wattage is, and you're going to have to go figure out what the wattage for your battery is, I could go into a lot of detail about how to figure that out and that kind of stuff, but just go see what your cranking amp hours are and go figure out what the wattage of it is. And just know that you only have half of that. So, say you have 100 amps and you need to know how long you can run, so let's say an electric blanket. Now, an electric blanket is a really, really good way to stay warm without having to use the main forced air heater that uses propane because you can burn through propane pretty quick. And if you're truly trying to boondock and make time by staying at the Cracker Barrels and stuff, you don't want to spend time sitting at the truck stops or, some propane refill place filling your tanks up because you've used them every night. If it's really cold, you can go through 230 gallons pretty quick, just a few days. But we find that if you use an electric blanket, they only pull about 100 to 150 watts an hour. That's not bad at all. That's very low power consumption. Now, you can also use a heating pad, like a medium-sized heating pad. They make really small ones like this big, and then they make a bigger one like that. And then you can get some of them that's even the large ones. Now, the large ones will pull a little more power, but your average middle-sized one, like most people use, those pull between 50 and 150 depending on what setting you have them on. Now, if you got that thing on low and you've got it in the bed between you and your wife, I'm going to tell you what, it gets pretty warm. We have 2 dogs that sleep with us, and I have to make them get off most of the time. But a heating pad is a different kind of heat. It really works well, and if you're using it just for you, a lot of times I will actually put it under a towel and sleep on top of the towel with it on low. And now, most of them will cut off every 2 hours, but that's fine because once I've got the bed warm and we're sleeping in the bed together and the dogs, the body heat's probably going to keep you warm. But just keep in mind a medium heating pad is 50 to 150 watts. So that's going to run you all night, even if you got a small battery, like a 100 amp hour. Now, we use lithium, and our lithium is, we have a bank of 4, and they're 300 amps a piece, but we run 24, so it really just gives us 600 amp hours. It's a lot of, again, I'm not going to get into all the math stuff today, but at 24 volts, that gives us 600 because it's half. 12 would give you 1200. So, and that's what we really have. So I say all that to confuse you probably, but really, I'm just telling you, I have 4 batteries. I can run a long time for 100 or 150 watts to stay warm. Now, that's just to sleep, and a lot of times the bedding you use makes a difference. Like some people use just regular thin cotton sheets, and they put a comforter on top of it. Some people want to use wool. I'm not a wool fan. Some people like to use fleece. Now, I do like fleece, and fleece is very warm, especially if you put the fleece against your body first and then put the sheet and cover over you. the fleece, for whatever reason, has the ability to hold the heat better, and it actually breathes just because of the way it's made. Some people like flannel. I'm not a flannel guy. Flannel just seems to get me too hot, and I end up waking up. Now, another thing you can think about is wearing socks or thermal socks, especially thermal socks. And you can look, Amazon's got all kinds on there. But just make sure they have a good rating for keeping your feet warm. Thin socks, they won't do it. You really need socks that are made for that. Now, this is worst case scenario if you guys are out like we do and you boondock and you're just not wanting to run through your battery banks and you're not wanting to run through your propane and that kind of stuff. Um, typically most people are in a campground. You're going to use your propane. It's easily refillable, so it's not a problem. I'm just talking about trying to stay warm when you're boondocking. That's what this is really about today. Is just trying to stay warm boondocking. Um, Now, if you get in the campground and the power goes out, well, then guess what? You're back to boondocking. So this is good stuff to know. And I'm just telling you what we do. Uh, you guys leave in the comments below. What do you do to stay warm when you guys are boondocking? Because I'm sure we don't have the market cornered for this. So let us know what you guys do. I'd be very interested and would implement some of it if it works for us. Now, we do carry a generator, and as most of you know, if you watched our videos long enough, we are solar powered, and we get our battery banks charged every day. But that's, again, if you've got 2 or 3 days of rain and my batteries are getting depleted, it really doesn't help me a whole lot if I'm boondocking. Now, we do carry the generator, like I said, and we have one time in the last 2 years used that one night when it got in the 20s, and we did not have much sun for a couple of days, and I was afraid we would run out of power. So I just went ahead and hooked it to the generator and let it run for the night. We were actually at a winery that night down in South Georgia. But Kathy has to have medical devices running at night. So I'm always hypersensitive about where we are with energy and the batteries and our ability to heat and cool. And especially to keep her oxygen concentrator and CPAP and all that kind of stuff running at night. So for us, that's just what I do. So I have the battery and I have the generator. Yeah, and we just have all kinds of ways to hook it up. Now, another way to do this is what they call a portable solar generator. And really, it's just a battery box that you charge up with a solar panel or plug it into the wall. And it's typically got lithium batteries in them. Those are really, really nice, and especially if you have an RV that it's just got a small house battery on it, look into buying one of those. You can charge your phones with them. You can run anything with them. You can run a hair dryer with them. You can run a microwave with them. Well, if you get one big enough, and it doesn't have to be very big, but you certainly can run an electric blanket or a heating pad and that kind of stuff to keep you warm. Now, that's not going to do anything for keeping your water pipes warm, so you might want to occasionally let your forced air kick on and off just enough to keep your pipes from getting cold and freezing. And that's another thing, how do you keep all that stuff warm? Well, you know, I we use a small electric heater sometimes. Now, I will tell you, I'm not a big fan of using these electric heaters. I just have the fear that they can short out or overheat and cause a fire. I know they have all kinds of protections. Still doesn't make me comfortable. Now, you do your thing, but for me, the portable space heaters I'm just not comfortable going to sleep with one of those running. Now, during the day, they're fine because you can monitor them and see if something's going wrong, but at nighttime, not for me. So that takes me back to, using alternative heating sources. Um, if you are going to use your propane, and I know most of you know this, but I'm going to say it anyway, just for the ones, maybe you're a newbie, maybe you don't know. But if you're going to run your propane heater and it's really cold outside, you need to crack a window. If you don't, you're going to end up with a lot of condensation. and you don't want that either. That is not good for your RV. You'll find all kinds of issues with that, and you don't have to crack a window much. You don't have to run one. Yeah, yeah, easy for me to say. You don't have to run one wide open. You just need to crack it just a couple of inches, and that'll be just fine. Now, I know that's counterintuitive, and you're trying to stay warm and I'm opening a window when it's freezing outside. Trust me on this, it's not going to make that much difference. Most of your RVs are single pane windows anyway, and you're going to feel the cold on that single pane window. But you do need to vent it. You you cannot do it, but again, you just need to do it. Go look around the internet and find out other people talking about why you should do it. You should just do it. Um, so really, that's about all I can tell you about trying to stay warm. Now, I'll tell you something that you can do. It is not practical for us, but if you were going to be sitting somewhere for several days and you were boondocking, like you were doing off grid boondocking somewhere for a week or so, you can actually buy underskirting that'll go on your trailer. Some of them, some of it actually, you can get the little, what do you call those little snaps that snaps it on? You put it on the bottom of the trailer and you snap it around it. Or you can get the ones they're inflatable. They look like a long, I don't know, long bags like a beach ball bag, but they're long instead of spherical round. But they air up and actually block off under your trailer. Believe it or not, a lot of cold air gets up under your trailer. It makes it really hard to heat it. Now, most RVs do have I think it's called Coroplast bottom under them. It's a plastic bottom that it's just sheets of it and it's screwed to it. And it's got some insulation under the floor. But as all of you know, if it's cold, you're going to feel that floor now. On mine, I had a closed cell insulation blown into it, and it works really well. But most of your commercial RVs does not come with that. So that's something you can think about too, just to help keep it warm. Like with us, we have a mini split. I don't have propane forced air. I have a mini split, and it works really well down to like I said, we were in Georgia, got down to about 20 degrees one night, and I couldn't believe it, but the mini split was still working that cold. A lot of people will tell you at 40 to 30 degrees that they're done. Well, mine was still working at 20, and it was working well. Now, like I said, we have the electric blankets and stuff. It's how we typically deal with that. We don't even try to run, not even the mini split, if it's that cold. Now I will keep the mini split to try to keep enough in there to keep the chill knocked off. But if I can keep it in the 50s, that's fine. But again, you guys do what you want to do. I'm just trying to give you tips to think about how you can stay warm, especially in an emergency situation. If you do like us and you get out and travel a lot, you're going to find places across this country where it's 100 miles to the next gas station, next place to get off. And if you broke down somewhere out there in the middle of the night and it's freezing, these are just good tips to try to help you guys think about in the future, because when it becomes a crisis and an emergency, sometimes cool heads don't prevail. So maybe this will just, I'm popular, my phone's whistling at me. So maybe this will help you guys think about, if you do have the emergency, you won't panic and you'll remember me talking to you about this. I'll put my phone on silent. So that's about all I'm going to talk about today. I was just thinking that it's getting cold again. We were in Arkansas and it got down into the low 50s a couple of nights. And I just got to thinking, man, I wonder if people really think about what to do when it gets cold, or if you're having an emergency, or if you're just wanting to boondock. We really enjoy boondocking. So just passing the information along to you. If you guys enjoyed this, please give us a thumbs up. Comment below and tell us what you think about it. Is this useless information for you? Is this information that's going to help you out? If you find value in what we do, you need to let us know. We settle around a lot of weeks, and like today, and I was thinking, what am I going to do for a What's Up Wednesday? I really don't have a topic for today, And in the last 2 weeks, nobody's really asked me to talk about a specific topic. And it really helps me out if you guys will give me something to talk about, because I'll go research it if I don't already know the answers, and I'll bring it to you and let you know, keep you from having to do the research. Also keeps me from running around trying to figure out what in the world am I going to talk to you guys about today. So it just makes it easier for me, and it'll be helpful for you. So, comment and tell me what you want to hear about next Wednesday or the Wednesday after. A lot of times I do 2 or 3 of these in a week, and then I'll schedule them out. And then sometimes I'll have to do like I'm doing today and scramble to get one done, because we were in Arkansas last week, and we just kind of took it easy and didn't do a whole lot. So just trying to get this one out to you guys today before 6 o'clock, and it is 3:55, and I've still got to do a little editing on this, but I'll still get it out in time. So I'm just rambling now, but you guys let me know again if this helps you. Comment, let me know what you want me to talk about next. And give us a thumbs up, please. Check, see if you're still subscribed. We're still having a problem with people that's getting unsubscribed that did not want to be unsubscribed. And I've noticed on a lot of other channels they're talking about the same thing. So I don't know what the deal is. They don't know what the deal is. But please check. Just takes a second. Please check and see if you're still subscribed. If you're not, please subscribe back. That would be awesome. We would appreciate it. All right, go round you up a few friends and send them to our channel. Tell them to subscribe too. We're trying to build the channel. We appreciate you guys, and I will see you next Wednesday. All right, till then, make each day count 365. I'm going to tell you like I always do, continue the journey. There is a big, beautiful world out there. Man, we went through the most beautiful country in northwest Arkansas. We'd never been through there. I had no idea how pretty that was. And then we went up into Branson, Missouri, and apparently it rained a little bit there, and the leaves were really, really pretty. They were changing. In Arkansas, they'd had a little bit of a drought. Wasn't so good. So anyway, get out and see the world. See, especially our United States. It is just beautiful out there. All right. See you next week. Bye now.